Happy Friday everybody, and welcome to something new we're trying here at Sunnybird PR. So this is our Friday tips and tricks. So every Friday we are going to be bringing you a new YouTube video with, like it says in the box, lots of tips and tricks to do your own PR. So we get asked so many questions on social media, when we meet people in person. And a lot of the times they all want to know the same things, simple things that we think we can give you a few bits of information, a bit of guidance on, and you can take it away and do your own PR hopefully. So this week, we'll introduce ourselves first. Yeah. So I'm Alex and I'm an account manager here at Sunnybird PR.
I'm Georgie and I'm also an account manager at Sunnybird PR.
Hopefully we know a little bit and we can help you out. Yeah. So today, one of the main things, one of the bases that we need to start from is press releases, and that's one of the things we get asked about more than anything else, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're thinking about writing a press release, there's a few things that you need to consider before you go ahead and start writing. So first you need to think about, is what you want to talk about new news? So you want to think about whether it's something that's been spoken about before, is it something that the press are going to be interested in, is it linked to something that's happening in the news right now, is it something current and topical, because that's really important to make sure that it is. You also want to think about who your audience is. So think about not only who you're trying to reach in terms of members of the public, but also in terms of what publications do you want it to go in. Do you want it to go in the Daily Mail? Do you want it to go in the Mirror? Do you want it to go in Elle magazine? Because depending on who you're trying to reach and what publications you want to be in, you need to phrase it and target it slightly differently. So along those same veins, you need to think about what type of media it's for. So is it going to be national press? So by national press we mean things like the whole country is going to be reading. So things like the Daily Mail, or the Mirror or the Sun, like I just mentioned. Is it trade press? Yeah. So trade might be, if you're a charity specific magazines, it might be business specific magazines, online,
or either regional press, which a lot of our clients are writing regional releases about news they've got in the local area, and it's quite a different format for that as well. So we're going to kind of outline a basic structure and things you should be thinking about every time you go to write a press release. So firstly is your introduction. That's your main bit, and you've probably heard everyone say you need your who, what, where, when, why. They're your 5 W's. So it's really important in the very first bit, paragraph, you get all that information in there as easily as possible, but without it sounding too dry. So always never start with a name or a place. Start with the most interesting angle, and try and get as many facts as you can in there as possible. And then on your second paragraph, that's when you kind of, what we say, clear up those 5 W's. So anything you didn't manage to get in the first paragraph, you put in the second paragraph. And you always start that second paragraph with someone's name. So if you're talking about the lovely Georgie and she's gone and done a skydive for charity, for example.
Never going to happen.
So it would start off the first paragraph, like skydiver jumps out of a plane to raise thousands of pounds. And the second paragraph would be Georgie Smith and her age and where she's from, and all your facts in there. So this is what they call the pyramid structure. So it's all the information, a little bit less information, and when you get down to the third paragraph, you need to include your quote. So that's what brings your press release to life. So it's all about people, and people like hearing from people and what they have to say. That's the most interesting part. So the third bit would be a quote, probably from the lovely Georgie herself, the person most related to the story. So if you're a big charity and you're promoting what you're doing, and it's about someone that's raised money for you, no one wants to hear from the charity worker or the CEO because they weren't related to the story. So the person involved needs to be quoted first, and later on you'll put in what we call that expert comment. So that'll be your CEO, and they'll put their input in later down the press release. So that's the main thing about structure. What else do we need to know?
You need to keep it quite short and sweet,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So keep it to the point, don't waffle on. 1 page is kind of ideal for press releases. Wouldn't recommend going much longer than that, unless you really, really, really have to.
Yeah, definitely not. So that's your basic structure, and the things you need to remember when you're sending it. You also need high-res imagery. That is absolutely crucial. No publication is going to include your press release without an image. So make sure it's high-res, and you include this not as an attachment in your email, but as a Dropbox link. And any information,
or Google Drive or something like that. Yeah, anything they can download it from separately, so it doesn't get caught up in their email filters.
No, definitely. And then any information, what do you do with all the information you haven't got in the press release, all the extra bits? Where does that go?
So we put that in the notes to editors. So at the bottom you'd say, when you finish your press release, you put a little note saying ends, so the journalist is clear that's where the press release ends. And then you have a little subheading, notes to editors, and that's where you put in the information maybe about your company, maybe more about the initiative that you're doing, I don't know, awards that you've won, things like that. Extra information that you want to include, you want the journalist to know, doesn't necessarily fit in the actual body of the press release.
Yeah. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I know it was a lot of information to take in 5 minutes or so, but if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'll be sharing different tips and tricks every single Friday. So if you've got anything you particularly want to know, comment on the video or let us know.